The morning began quietly, with the sun breaking through the clouds and spilling golden light across the small military base. Birds chirped faintly in the distance, but for Captain David Miller, the sound barely registered. He had been awake since before dawn, his mind heavy with thoughts of what the day would bring. His uniform was immaculate, pressed to perfection. His boots shone with a mirror polish. His tie was straight, his hat positioned exactly as regulation required. Every detail was precise because this was not a normal mission. This was sacred. David had been assigned one of the military's most solemn tasks, escorting the body of a fallen soldier home to his family. The soldier was Private First Class Michael Ramirez, 22 years old. A kid, really, with a smile that could light up a room, and a heart that had carried him into service. Michael had been killed in combat just weeks earlier, in a dusty corner of the world where danger lived around every bend. David had never met Michael while he was alive, but that didn't matter. Every fallen soldier was family. Every escort carried the same promise: you will not go home alone. I will walk beside you every step of the way. As he stood outside the hangar, David watched as the flag-draped casket was carried toward him. The folded stars and stripes, stretched across the polished wood, seemed to radiate both pride and sorrow. A lump rose in his throat. He had done this before more times than he wished, yet it never got easier. Each casket carried not just a body, but a story, a future cut short, a family left behind. A staff sergeant approached quietly. "Captain Miller, everything's ready for transport." David gave a sharp nod, swallowing hard. "Understood. I'll stay with him until the family takes over." That was his duty. From this moment until the handoff, he would not leave Private Ramirez's side. Not for a meal, not for a nap, not even for a moment of relief. The escort stays with the fallen until the mission is complete. As the hearse rolled toward the civilian airport, David sat in silence beside the casket. His thoughts drifted to Michael's parents. How they must be feeling. The last time they had seen their son alive, he had probably been full of energy, laughing, promising he'd be okay. And now, he was coming home in silence. David's chest ached. He whispered softly, "I'll make sure they know you were honored every step of the way." The car pulled into the airport, weaving through private service roads until it reached the loading area. Workers in reflective vests waited nervously. They weren't soldiers, but they understood the gravity of the moment. Their usual chatter was gone. Every movement was careful, deliberate. David stepped out, his posture straight, his eyes sharp. He followed as the casket was transferred toward the plane. Even though these men were strangers, David's presence made them more precise, more reverent. His uniform demanded it, but more than that, it inspired it. Finally, the casket was secured. David gave a crisp salute, his hand trembling only slightly, before walking toward the passenger terminal. He wasn't boarding a military transport. He was flying commercial like any other traveler. But unlike any other traveler, his mission wasn't about himself. It was about Michael, and though he didn't know it yet, before this day was over, that mission would be challenged in a way he never expected. Because in just a few hours, an airline would try to reduce his sacred duty to a policy, and when they did, they would learn a lesson they would never forget.